Hello everybody, how's it going? We are here with a general and timeless reading. Before we get started, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. Seeing you like reflecting on something, looking for something. I'm seeing this be consistent. Consisting of the relationship that you have with yourself. You may be wondering like if you're able to do something, or you may be like looking to tap into a more creative side of yourself, or you're in a spot where you're like figuring out if there is something that you're capable of doing and like where that's residing within you. We're starting off with the Page of Wands and the Magician. So with these two, this is going to be something very, very creative that you are making. This can be a project of yours. This can be a relationship of yours. Whatever it is, this is you wanting to be... I see whatever this is kind of like a coloring book, and you picking what colors you want to sort of shade this thing with, this endeavor. I see the Magician very much as like your creative energy and what you want to express too, because the Magician is ruled by Mercury. And so Mercury is like, what do I want to express? What do I want to speak out? What am I receiving? And then what do I want to reflect outward? Because Mercury is associated with your throat chakra. And so it's not just about speaking, it's also about listening. And it's about tapping into things. And then to have this Page of Wands here, this is like, what do I want to do with that? So when it comes to like the visions that I have for myself within my life, when it comes to my relationships, when it comes to my projects, when it comes to my creativity, what do I want to be making here? Having this Page of Wands here, it means that you have more than an opportunity, because the Ace of Wands is an opportunity. Having the Page of Wands is more of a sense of direction and like getting your person sort of behind what this is that you're doing. And it can also mean that there's another person that's going to come in and join you. Also, too, with the Page of Wands, it means that there is something that you are doing that you may be in the beginning stages of. A page is kind of like a baby. A page is somebody that's just getting their feet wet. So when it comes to this thing that you're doing, it may be something where you definitely have your foot in the door, but you may want to be expanding, or you may feel like you really have a solid direction now. It's not just like brainstorming now. It's like, I know where I'm going with this. I have like a more solid understanding of what I want to do here and what I want to express and what I want to create. So you may be connecting with yourself and asking yourself, like, what are my individual abilities? Because I did keep seeing the Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck. And in this context, I see the Queen of Wands as you being like, as far as like what I can do that feels right for me, not like what I see that guy doing over there or this person doing over here. Like when it comes to what's authentic to me and how I'm using my gifts and abilities, how do I want to use that and what does that look like? I want to be the one creating the blueprint here, or following that by listening to my intuition. Grounding something. So this can also be exploring your abilities as well. Matters of the heart coming up with this Queen of Cups here. So this is something that you feel connected to, you feel attached to. But to have the Fool on the bottom of the deck, something you're connected to, something that you're attached to. This is like the heart chakra coming alive. It's connected with this thing that you're manifesting. There's a sense of sentimentality to it, because Queen of Cups is going to speak about water. That's the feeling function. To have the Fool on the bottom of the deck, this may be something that you don't have a whole lot of experience with, but you're like, this is what I'm going to do. This is the direction that I'm going to go in. You may be being brave with something, maybe opening your heart to something. Figuring out how that works. Figuring out, okay, so to have the focus be balancing with the Queen of Cups, this is like understanding my boundaries and my values, especially when it comes to like the emotional side of things. And then like, how much do I give to myself? How much do I give to others? What does that look like? Where are my emotional boundaries? This is also like figuring out how to be emotionally involved and connected with what you're doing. Because I see the Two of Pentacles as like figuring out how to do something, like now that this thing is on your plate, and Queen of Cups is going to speak about matters of the heart and things that you like really can't help but feel connected to. It's like this natural way of being. And having Six of Pentacles here is like, how do I figure out how to give and also how to receive and have that be reciprocal? So I'm showing up for myself, and I'm also showing up for this project / this person that I'm connecting with. Could be both of those things. The Page of Wands, like the subject of this, is going to be anything that is currently like inspiring you within your life. So yes, it can be like a relationship of yours that you're working on right now and like manifesting something of the heart within this. This can be like a creative endeavor. It can be a project. It can be a new activity that you're doing that your heart is involved in. Definitely something that you're attached to in some way with water. Or something that you feel has you channeling that energy. Like it speaks to you in that way. It speaks to your heart. This is not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a bit of a process. I'm seeing you be capable. You just also need to be patient. It seems like there's some water that you're figuring out how to like be one with. King of Cups on the bottom of the deck, and to have that be there with Temperance. Temperance is like, I'm going to take my time stepping into this new thing that I feel like has been calling to me. I'm going to take my time figuring out what my vision is and what I'm trying to create here. Also, how I want to represent myself. How do I want to express myself? It's a learning process. So it looks like there are also some new skills that you are gaining, working on, exploring successfully. Whatever it is that you are meant to be creating here, I'm seeing you actually doing that. I definitely get that the key to this, the key to you having a successful approach is because of how your heart is involved. I'm seeing actually the Queen of Cups be the key to this. So this could have been something that you were doing where you may not have thought that your heart needed to be involved in, but somehow your heart has been like activated throughout this experience, and it seems like it ends up being this like subtle key to actually being successful and doing this properly, effectively. So yeah, what I'm seeing your guides say is, as long as you are patient in figuring this out and actually like take the time to dedicate yourself to this, it is something you're going to be successful with. That's what these two cards show. So this means if you are rushing through this, you're not going to get to the Chariot. If you are not taking your time with this, you're not going to get to the Chariot. You have to embody the energy of Temperance. So this is like opening your mind. Like think about Sagittarian energy. This is exploring. This is being understanding of other people, being invested in what's going on with other people, like connecting with your higher self, being patient as you're learning how to do something and how to figure it out and do it with this sense of passion and vigor. To take a more philosophical approach. Sagittarius rules philosophy. And to also have the Chariot too here with Cancer, again, like matters of the heart, speaking about what you're connected to, what you care about, what matters to you, and manifesting in that way. That's what's going to be most helpful to you here. So it's like Sagittarian energy with Temperance too. It's like taking the time to study something and taking the time to learn something. Getting outside of your comfort zone, or maybe outside of beliefs that you had. Like Sagittarius is a mutable sign, which means that it's changeable. It means that it's adaptable. And all of us have Sagittarius somewhere in our charts, even if you don't have any like specific Sagittarian placements. This is about tapping into an energy where you are like opening and expanding your horizons, and through this, because you may be learning new stuff, you may be opening your heart in a different way than you had been before. It's like, let your heart lead you through this process. That's really going to be the key to this. And what's shown here too is that you're not always going to know the right way to do things or how to go about stuff. That's why Temperance is here saying, take the time to figure this out. It's not always going to be clear. It's not always going to be obvious, but if you're patient with yourself and this thing that you're doing here, you are going to succeed with it. And you're going to feel even more in touch. I see the Judgment card in this context as more of like a strategy of figuring out how to get from A to B. Like, how am I going to be most successful with the way that I do this? And also looking at things through a lens of like emotional judgment, understanding, and analysis. And also making sure that you don't overwhelm yourself. There's something here where like the key is what's being exposed as far as the key is balancing between being active and also resting, doing what you need for yourself and your self-care, and then also giving, because we have the Four of Swords leading into the Six of Pentacles, and the Four of Swords is like, what do I need to do for myself? Resting, recharging, recovering, connecting, grounding, all of the things that allow me to feel present and getting into that space. And then when I feel like I'm in that space, sliding into the Six of Pentacles of, how can I help you? How can I show up here? How can we work in this together? I want this to feel reciprocal. So it's like giving yourself time and then giving that to others as well. Energy. And that's where you're going to find the stability that you're looking for. Okay, let's get one more. So yeah, you're gonna need to make sure that this is like a firm, like hard boundary of yours where you are absolutely advocating for yourself and expressing yourself. This is going to be very important. This is like, you say what you need to say, only what you need to say, and this is like not holding yourself back from expressing yourself. So this is like making sure that you keep things suspended in a harmonious balance when it comes to the give and take. This is going to be very, very important. So this means not putting yourself in a precarious position to be taken advantage of because you're not speaking up for yourself. It means being very, very clear on your boundaries. And also saying, like, when you need a break and when you need rest, to say that too. Like, when you need to step back or step away or take a moment to yourself, it's about advocating for yourself. So then when you are showing up, you can give 100%. So there's something new that you're doing. This is something that's going to take time to assimilate, to adjust. There's a lot of learning that's happening. There's also a lot of creative energy that is involved in this as well. It seems like the stuff that you are learning is going to be very much put into practice. And so you're going to see it manifest. And I'm seeing that as long as you take your time with manifesting, creating, doing what you're doing, you are going to be successful. And right now, the lens that you want to be looking at things through is through water energy, through your feeling energy. So this means being very, very present to what's going on emotionally for you and for the people around you. Compassion for yourself and for those around you. And balancing that with taking the time that you need for yourself as well. Again, so when you show up, you can give 100% because you're being present to yourself, which then allows you to be present to others too, and creating that dynamic that you need. So this is also bringing together the heart and the mind too, with this Queen of Cups here and the Queen of Swords. And to only have queens here, this is all your receptive feminine energy. So this is a lot about taking things in and not necessarily... Sometimes when we have an imbalance of masculine and feminine energy, like when we have too much masculine energy, it can be like doing things without thinking about it or like automatically reacting to something, because the masculine energy, which all of us have masculine and feminine energy, it's just a balance within us. When we're leaning too far into our masculine energy, it can be like not listening but talking a lot. So you like start talking at people. When you have like an imbalance of feminine energy, you may listen a lot, but then you're not sharing anything. Like you're not continuing the conversation in that way. You're only receiving. And so like nothing's getting done. You're not setting boundaries. You're not communicating. So this is about finding that balance between the two of these. And to have, I'm seeing like really needing to open up to like the softness of your heart and to feeling everything. And also balancing that with your air energy. Balancing your water and your air energy is going to be balancing like your heart and your emotions, and also your mind and your intellect as well. But doing so in a way where you are mostly listening right now until it becomes clear and obvious what needs to be done. And it will. I'm looking at Mercury, Sagittarius, Cancer, and Pluto here. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for connecting. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.